Um, America never ever was interested to stop genocide. I just need to finish here. I described this really very thoroughly about how it all functioned. And yeah, what I want to add to all this stuff is there is another video here about 5,000 police officers minimum. Probably was 10,000, who knows how many police officers from United States of America, only in United States of America, was implicated in this. Who knows how many police officers really were involved in this stuff from United States of America alone. Basically it's like this, look. Very important stuff. This is going to be part number 3 of this stuff here. And I want to do this one here on the camera. So we're going to do some of this stuff, and we're going to do some of this stuff here. Very important for me to finish for this last part about this stuff, you know. When I immigrated to the United States of America in 1995, what's interesting is once I settled in the United States of America, this garbage hijacked me to Slovenia and back into this house, into this home here. I tried to kick them out. I didn't want to have nothing to do with Americans that brought me here. I tried to kick them out. I gave a fair amount of resistance. The people like Merrick Garland, he was involved in this since I was a baby. Do you know what the scum did? Talking about the scum, American scum, Biden's, Trump's, etc., etc. You know what they would do, these American Illuminatis? They came up with an excuse. They told me it's not okay for us, and they wanted to make themselves home here. And I tried to get lost from here. They told me, I see, they in such a way, they explained to me, you came to the United States of America, but we're not allowed to go into your house. This is the way it was. That's what Donald Trump, that's what Joe Biden, that's what Merrick Garland, all this older crew they had. They will explain to you about this stuff. They said, you came to the United States of America, but we're not allowed to come in your home, in your country, in Slovenia. I'm not Slovenian immigration authorities, and I had nothing to do with that stuff, but this is a private house, private home. They completely disregard it, and it appears to me that Americans simply Americanize this piece of property, turn one literally into American slavery camp, terror cell, together with the Slovenian side. Demanded for this extermination procedure to be enforced through this place, through this location, like a terror camp, terror cell. You basically come back in your country and turn one directly into a terror cell with assistance of your own government. This is the American way. That's how they do it. So they were doing everything through permission in cooperation with the government, with the Slovenian government. I thought that's important part. I gave a fair resistance, strong resistance. However, Americans started to even condition my stay in the United States of America with their acts of terrorism inside of this house. Yeah, it's important for people to understand that if you go to America or something, and you've been hijacked, drugged up, and delivered back to your home, that people are told, you come to America, but we're not allowed to come, obviously, in your house. Obviously, this was just a visit for them. Obviously, this was normal, humane way. This is absolutely animals. This is exactly what I described right here in this video here. I described this as satanic Lucifer DNA, satanism, pure as it gets. This is a real United States of America. I describe one very good here under this video. I totally give you totally backup about detailed explanation how they do, how they think, who these people are, where do they want to go, and basically everything about how it functions. Totally everything. Totally everything. Beautiful, beautiful video. State-of-the-art video where I explain American brain, where I explain American DNA, where I explain exactly what Americans, regardless of their racial background, are made out of. You guys, you are, I don't know, you fit, every one of you fits the profile of the serial killers. I don't have anything else I would add to this video. The way your conduct was, the way you behaved yourself inside of this house, the way this stuff was, this is like dealing with the serial killers, like a lot of serial killers, like, I'm not going to say mercenary army, but with the serial killers, one after another. That is the United States of America. You got to understand what United States of America is. This home is a private home. This is a private residence, it's a private home. And it's incredible that you actually surpassed, that you actually went above, that you went over, that you exemplified the Slovenian side, the so-called communist side, that you exemplified them on how that's actually done in this world. That you demonstrated them that, you know, your American culture, your great American democracy, your great American culture, for the world to understand you better, how you operate. I honestly, I'm going to say to you, I wish I could have killed you, scum. I wish I could have sent you back in a coffins. But that kind of wish is a weakness, because we all know that this stuff can never repeat again. You do this kind of stuff to the people, till the people reveal the whole thing about what's done. You dared actually to do this stuff to me even in 2019 and 2020, when it was completely evident about what you have done to me. But sure enough, there's no fucking way you could have even tried to do something like this to me today, that you even have the guts to come anywhere even close to me, with the Slovenian police, with the psychiatrists, with absolutely anything. Today, I would be more than honored to die during MK Ultra. I would make you, I'm not gonna say sweat, but if I had a single chance, single opportunity, I would not waste in hurting any one of you involved in it. Give it the smallest, slightest second. So the way they do this stuff, that's important if you watch this program. You have no capacity to defend yourself. Nothing. You child. You drugged up. Your life terror. You beaten up in the school. You at home. And MK Ultra at the same time, you know. Then you grow up. Most of the people don't grow up anywhere. They go to the institutions. They die earlier. If the impossible happens, you actually obtain even education. If you get equivalent to the high school, that means that you have 10 doctorates, comparable to 10 doctorates if you can complete high school under this kind of circumstances. Then what they do is, then they start to fuck with your employment. Once you complete this, nothing changes. It becomes more diabolic, more violent, more extremely aggressive and extremely violent, because it's designed to burn you out. Because they want guarantee that you will not survive, that they develop diseases. This is their biggest enemy, is your youth, your strength, is what they use to turn into your weakness. They do everything possible they can to get you killed like that. If they somehow do not kill you, you end up inside of the psychiatric hospital. And if you somehow manage to gather the proofs about the stuff that happened, that took place, they don't want to see it. Then it's about see nothing, hear nothing, and if you go to the police station, they take you to the psychiatric hospital like they did to me in 2024, at the end of the 2024. That's the way it is, right? So when you don't have proofs about MK Ultra, they fuck with your employment. When you finish the school, they fuck with your employment and they rip you apart. You understand? You are simply, I'm gonna say, not employable. When you obtain the proofs, when you get the MK Ultra proofs, when you get the shit together, they simply play hear nothing, see nothing, know nothing, till you drop dead. That's the way they operate. That's the way this stuff is done. This is like an assembly line of death, basically. You go from one dot to another, like you would process on assembly line, cars or something like that, attaching the wheels, I don't know, on a carrosserie and whatever, hood, whatever, and so on. At a certain stage, that's exactly the way the fuck this stuff is done. This is a general motors of life. This is something that is not written inside of the books. This is not written inside of your constitution. Yet this is based on what world actually functions. And everything else is for the rich people, for the elites, and for the people that I don't know if these are people, whoever the fuck you are, I don't know. They're always one step ahead of the game. Always one step of the game ahead of the game. They're ahead of the game when you go through the grammar school, when you go through the high school, when you're fit, when you're ready for employment. They change the whole thing into the game of abuse through the forced unemployment, torture. Employment through the torture procedures, impossible work conditions. If you somehow manage to obtain proofs and you don't get killed along the way, then it's a see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing, and that happens after they process you also through the psychiatric hospital. They're always one step ahead of the game, all the way into the grave. It is just as simple as that. What is known as the King Charles, this one here, he was asking all the time about what the genocide is. He wanted to know all the time during MK Ultra what the genocide is. He wanted to understand if I know what the genocide is, if I understand what the genocide is, and how do you qualify as a genocide. And he was talking to me about Eastern Europeans, about the stuff they do to me, and if I understand the meaning of the genocide. That's what he was interested. He wanted to know. He was so convincing that I was sure that this guy was actually on my side. He wanted me to explain him the definition pertaining to the genocide, what needs to be completed, and that interesting stuff. He started to do this in front of the Novo Mesto police officers inside of our house. That was Charles Windsor from Buckingham Palace, London. He wanted me to explain him what genocide is when I was in the United States. This was a long trickery he did on me. He wanted me to explain him what the genocide is. That's an interesting one. That's a good one. No, I was sure that this is my friend. I was certain that that he's siding with me, that he is concerned for my well-being, because he said to me, "We're gonna do something about it," you know, which is like in such a way like I'm gonna help you out. You know what I mean? I had no idea he's gonna find the weakest person in this world to go after, to basically finish off poor bastard like this. I had no fucking idea that he would go as far as this. I had no fucking clue about it. This is Charles Windsor. He wanted to know if I understand what the genocide is and what makes genocide complete. He wanted me to... he was, just like police had these booklets about the health about what parts of the body they manage to, you know, turn into a chronic disorder, problems develop. That's how he had in his booklet about what is necessary about the genocide, what pertains to the genocide, how you can claim genocide, how you can make genocide claim. And he went on to cover with me. He had me participate also in front of the computer, in front of the police, Novo Mesto police, which stages we have gone through. It sounded like he wanted to help me out. And you can see now basically what kind of help this was. That's the British way. That's how the British do it. That's the British way. That's my friend, my brother, my father, my magic friend from greater than Great Britain. This is what this is. Now, these days he's dying from the cancer, and he says right there he is suffering also. He has heart problems that are about to give up on him. I read earlier today, etc., etc., etc. Now, this is the way it is. When Americans came here to Novo Mesto in 1995, it was the first time they started to hijack me from United States of America. Before, it was always from Slovenia to America. I kicked them out. I told them to get lost. Merrick Garland was one of them. I didn't want to have any of this scum inside of my house. I told them to fuck off, to get lost. Maybe John McCain also, the whole crew of these criminals. I didn't want to see any of them. Unfortunately, the truth is that I was the one who immigrated to the United States of America. So then you can see what happens when you immigrate to the United States of America. I couldn't put this better. Now, what happens to you when you immigrate to the United States of America? Who you become? Maybe you should watch this video to understand. Stated in this video are only in every video I have posted online are only facts pertaining to my case. Facts only.